Alrighty, today we're going to learn how to blend and really show highlights and shadows by creating a sphere to get familiar with the tools. So our in-school learners, they're going to be using chalk pastel, which is what they're going to create for their finished product here. These are just some examples. You can see there's lots of different ways. So we're looking for the shine and the shadow in our sphere, but your light source can come from the side, can come from the front. And we're really looking to layer the colors, right? And then as a way to practice our control, our blending, and our layering. Now our at-home learners, you have black paper because you've got oil pastels. Now if you are going to be doing your final in chalk pastel, then let me know and we'll get you the supplies and make sure that you can practice with the chalk pastels before you go to the final copy, because it's just really going to make your artwork, it's just a really good practice skill. So the first thing is, whether you're using oil pastels or chalk pastels, sometimes the colors get dirty based on what's next to them. So you can wipe them off on a scratch paper. You know, you can use your finger, you can use a tissue. It just really depends. Sometimes you can just rub it. So we need to think about where our light source is going to come from. So the easiest light source is to have the light, like it's right where my hand is and it's shooting straight down. So it'd be lightest in the center and it gets shadowy at the sides. A more challenge is to have the light coming from kind of a different angle. So if my light was coming, say, from here, my sphere would be lightest over here, right? Because it's closest to the light, and the light would then fade out. So notice that as I'm laying in my highlight first, the biggest shine, I'm curving in the direction. As you get to the middle of the sphere, because the lines are coming up this way and we can't see that direction, they will appear straight towards the middle. But other than that, they're curving. And then my darkest side is going to be over here. So if I'm doing a green sphere, my darkest shadow is going to be over here. So again, I'm curving, I'm layering, and I'm just getting in my kind of basic pattern here. And then I'm going to go ahead and bulk up the colors. So every time I do a color, I'm not trying to get stripes, right? You want to get blending. So I had to overlap my light green onto my dark green and my dark green back onto my light green. Now for a large area with oil pastels, it's really nice to use them on the side, and so you can peel the wrapper off. That's a personal choice. They do have an oily texture, so every once in a while I find a student who can't stand it. Now I'm just using kind of the tip at the edge. The paper's kind of dragging. And so you can see how the green already looks way different where it's on top of the white versus where it's on the black. And then I'm going to even bulk up my green by giving it like a yellowish glow here at the side. Now at the edge, you're going to be very careful to be precise. And now I'm going to go in and I want to get rid of all of these black speckles. So white is a really good color for blending with. So if you're finding you're having trouble, obviously you can't throw white in with your super dark shadows because that would defeat the purpose of them. But using the colors to layer on each other to blend is a really good technique. All right, so I'm thinking about that shine. I'm blending that. I want to softly transition. I'm going back and forth and back and forth. This isn't like a 5-minute activity, okay? This should take you a little bit of time because you need to get enough pastel physically on the paper to build up a rich surface. It's the same process you're going to go through when you do the image that you choose, whether you're doing an animal or a landscape. Okay, you're gonna have to layer and build up the colors. There's just that's just how it goes. This yellow is almost hard. I wonder if I just have to use it on its side. Oh yeah, that's better. This one is a little hard. So oil pastels over time do dry out a little. I think we gave you guys all the newer ones. But if you find one that's super scratchy, you could just send me a message and we'll replace it. Because if they do start to dry out, they lose the oils, then they kind of more scratch than lay on the color. The other thing you could do is put a dollop of either baby oil or cooking oil on there, and it will kind of start to reabsorb. So the trickiest part is this kind of center part to make sure we're continuing to feel the roundness. Okay, so we can see the light is here. Now this shadow, it's not super shadowy. Right now, that green's not super dark. So one thing that you can do is you could take an opposite color and put a little whisper in there. So pink's not actually opposite. I mean, red is the opposite of green, but if you take a little whisper of that, you're going to get that deep dark shadow, which is going to be juicier looking than if you use black. And that will give you that kind of pump up that shadow. The other thing you could do is you could use like a deep blue, put a shadow in that way. So I'll do a little bit down here and you can kind of compare. This is a little prettier. This is a little deeper. But you're going to continue to layer and then you're going to design some sort of background. Again, we're practicing blending, layering, showing shines, showing shadows. So we don't want it all one color. So you want something that contrasts. So I'm not going to do a yellow background. I'm not going to do a green background. Probably not even going to do a blue background. I think what I might do is something with like some pinks and purples, right? Purple and yellow are opposites. So putting those two next to each other, they're going to stand out really nicely. They're complementary. They complement each other well. Well, hello, yellow. How are you doing? You doing well? They make each other look good. That's why I like the Lakers, the Vikings. Got those opposite colors, Christmas colors, red and green. So notice I started with the tip of the tool when I needed to be precise. And then I ended up laying down into my side. And my pink got a little strong and stripy, so I'm going to go back over it with my dark purple. I got to be controlled near the edge so I don't accidentally put a big old swipe of purple in there. Could always fix it, but it's just a back and forth. You could stay circular with your strokes. You could change directions a little bit in the background. It's totally up to you. Can layer in a little bit of the white, which I should have cleaned off first, but it worked out okay. And you're gonna fill the whole paper. But we're trying to get to this layer where we're seeing this nice thick layer of the pastels, okay? So this is what mine earlier looks like in chalk pastel. It's a little bit smearier to get a smoother finish. This was a shadow in the center. Right, this is a shadow on the side. This one I also did a shadow on the side. So layering, blending, getting those smooth transitions from one color to the other. Have fun with it, really explore the materials, and that's all you gotta do.